Hey y'all, we are back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast, and we have another live recording.
Yes.
Hey, and with the guest. So, yes. And so before we introduce our guest, we usually start off with our audio recordings by doing a quote.
Yes.
By a Black woman, of course. And so, Myra, what's the quote going to be?
This quote is by Kerry Washington, and it says, "You and you alone are the only person that can live the life that writes the story that you were meant to tell." I love that.
Repeat it one more time.
You and you alone are the only person that can live the life that writes the story that you were meant to tell. Basically, you control your narrative.
Yes. What are we thinking of this? What about you?
I think it's really true that you're the only one that can control, like, your future. And I really have had to live by that because I feel like when I was younger, I was kind of like a people pleaser and I wanted to, like, do things the way other people did it. And I feel like that's like a quote that I live by now, especially as a business owner. I always say when I die, everybody else is going to continue on. So,
It's true.
I am going to do the things that I want to do it how I want to do, respectfully, of course, and morally, right?
Respectfully.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
Yeah. I like that quote. I feel like more people should live by that.
Yeah, I agree. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like kind of like you have to take care of yourself type of thing. And that's my motto for sure. It's like, if I don't have the space or the energy to do something, then I'm just not, because I'm the one who has to deal with the backlash of what happens afterwards. At this point, too, and this is another thing I've been saying, and since I turned 30, is that like I've lived my life for 30 years now, which means that at this point, I'm the expert of Donika's life. I don't want anybody else's life, like, at all, because I'm not the expert of anybody else's life. And I don't know what they've been through, how they've processed. And, so I can only be me and take care of myself. And I'm happy that I get to, spend 30 years with me to just understand myself. So, yeah, I have to take care of me. Yeah.
I think my mind was even going to, like, being a new mom and just, like, all the other titles in my life, how all those are cute and cool and they inform some of the decisions that I make, but always making sure that I am at the forefront of all of it, because I don't want to be, hi, my name is Myra, I'm a mom. Hi, my name is Myra, I'm a therapist. I want it to be, I am Myra, I enjoy doing nothing, laying in the grass, blah, blah, blah. Making sure that, what feels good for Myra is at the forefront versus what feels good for Myra as the daughter, the mom, the sister, right? Like, letting those things inform myself, but putting me at the forefront.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, those titles, that conversation when you meet people. Ooh. So what do you do?
I hate that. Now I've been saying I fix elevators. I'm not a therapist. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to just talk about being human, existing.
Yeah, and the different things people come up with once you start saying that. But that's another conversation.
I know it's another conversation, but do people like kind of want like free therapy when you tell them that, or they're just kind of
do they want free therapy, but I feel like they also do this thing, and I don't feel like people realize this. They feel like as a therapist you're analyzing them, but they start to analyze you. And that's the part that makes me feel uncomfortable. They're analyzing how you're thinking about them, how you're looking at them, how you're feeling about them.
Right.
Like when I first met my boyfriend's family, I'll never forget, I shouldn't have told them I was a therapist, but they kept asking, like, what do you do? And at first I was pretending like I didn't hear them. But then it got to the point where they were like, are you recording us? Are you analyzing us? And I was like, oh, like, where is this going? When people have a drink or two.
Yeah.
But I was like, now I kind of want to go home because I shouldn't have told y'all what I did.
Oh, no, not sure.
But yeah, people, they start to analyze you, although they think that you're analyzing them. And that's what be like messing me up, because now I'd be like, nah, I am analyzing you because I'm watching you analyzing me.
Right.
Yeah, it's most definitely that return effect. Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, it's the piece. But I always tell people how I am. I'm not like this in the therapy session. So you're not getting therapy. I know you think you are, but this truly is genuinely just me. How I am in a therapy session is very different than how I am with Donika. Right. So you can think that, but I'm not analyzing you. I don't really care that much. Like, it's not that deep, especially if I'm just that's the thing too. If I'm just getting to know you, why do you think that I'm performing a job that I get paid for on you?
You're not on the clock.
I'm not. It takes to, like, our job still takes work. So why am I working triple overtime with a person I just met? why come I just can't
We're
be
still
inquisitive?
human,
And
yeah.
I'm inquisitive by nature. And so that is how I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
But trust me, I'm not doing therapy on you.
Yeah.
It was so funny. One of my clients actually, we were having a conversation. She was like, "You're just so poised and you have good responses." I was like, "But still, if you see me in the streets cussing somebody out, remember that is Myra in the street,
Right.
and I am not your therapist at that moment because I do pop off on people if I have to." And she was like, "Thank you so much for creating that picture that you are like regular and human." I was like, "Yeah, I be cussing people out just like you do."
Yes.
People think you're not, like, they just think that you're.
They think I'm gonna sit and analyze and think about my response first and go breathe and check myself.
Right.
Sometimes, yes. But if you say a certain thing to me, we all have our trigger words and people do
Yeah.
triggering things. So if I pop off and you see it, my bad.
In a therapy session, though, she wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, no.
These are the differences.
I'll be just like this. Yes. Hello.
Let's go. But okay, so we need to introduce our guest officially because as you can see, she's fitting in. We're having conversations, so we want you all to feel like you know her. So today we have Anulika. She is the owner of the Flower Plugg, and her goal is to bring herbal medicine awareness to communities that are not familiar or exposed to these benefits. She wants to make products that people can relate to. Marijuana is slowly being accepted in society. However, people still report feelings of anxiousness or paranoia when under the influence. These smokable tea blends can be a great alternative to give your body a euphoric, calm feeling without the high. So, welcome, Anulika, also my dance sister. So, these last few months, this is my dance sister, truly. But so, welcome.
Hi, y'all. It's the Flower Plugg. That's my little intro on all my videos.
Yes. Flower Plugg. Yes, I'm here for it.
The whole people don't think that I'm a dancer. They don't know that, and I'm also an herbalist. So I feel like I live two different lives.
So many sides. So many sides of you. You have a lot of beautiful sides. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But today we're going to talk about being a young Black woman entrepreneur, and also obviously talk about Anulika's business.
Yes.
And so we have to start off with asking about Flower Plugg and how it got started.
Okay, so it is a story. The Flower Plugg, pretty much, how I got into it, I've been vegan, plant-based for about 6-7 years now.
That's a long time.
Yes, girl. It's been a while. I say more so plant-based because I'm not as strict with the whole vegan lifestyle now. But I've always been into holistic stuff, natural alternatives, natural medicines. So I don't have to take a pharmaceutical if I can. And I'm also a stoner, if you know. I love my 420. So I'm always smoking, all of that stuff. There was a point in time, I think 2 times, where I couldn't smoke weed. I would get very anxious. I would have panic attacks. I just felt like everything was just heightened. And one of the times like that was during the whole George Floyd moment. I just felt like I just couldn't be high. I don't know. I feel like it was the energy thing going on, and I would just have crying spells. So I remember being on this live with this girl a long time ago talking about smoking different herbs lavender and rose. And everybody, I was like, what are you talking about? That doesn't even sound like smoking roses. That never heard of that. So I wasn't receptive to it at all. But during those times when I couldn't smoke weed, I'm like, I started thinking about that because it really stuck with me. I could have just stopped smoking, that was too much right. But I decided to start looking more into smokable herbs, smoking roses, smoking lavender. And I was like, there are smokable herbs out there that are not marijuana or CBD flower, anything like that. So I started putting my own blends together, going to my local herb shops and things like that. And it was working for me. The things that I really wanted to help with myself were my asthma. I'm asthmatic. So I wanted to make sure that, like I said, I could have just stopped smoking, but that's too much right. I wanted to have I wanted to have some herbs that could help me with that. Also with anxiety, because I was having a lot of anxiety spells. So I wanted to find some herbs with that. And then sleep, because when you stop smoking weed, it throws off just everything, especially if you're smoking tobacco wraps. I tell people you're not addicted to the weed, you're addicted to the blunt. You're addicted to that tobacco wood. You're addicted to that Dutch, okay? People that smoke joints, they're going to have an easier time not smoking than people that smoke woods. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, so I was doing that, doing my own thing, and it was working for me. And I started sharing it with my other stoner friends. I will never forget Juneteenth at Leimert Park. I brought my smokable blend. She had her weed. And I was like, hey, like I wasn't smoking weed like that. So I'm like, just mix this in. Just mix a little bit of weed, but like put this in there. She's like, okay. So she rolled it in her joint and she smoked it. And she was just like, she looked at me. She's like, I like this. She's like, I'm not coughing. And then she's like, I feel like way more relaxed. I'm not anxious. Like if you smoke weed, you're going to feel anxious. Stoners, we just know how to fight through it. We know how to deal with it. But she's like, I don't feel that like weird jittery feeling. So that let me know that this wasn't like a placebo, because sometimes you do things and you're like, yeah, it's working for me. Like, yeah. And then when somebody else tries it, they're like, girl, like, this ain't it. Yeah, this ain't it. So I'm like, a stoner's telling me, like somebody that's in the cannabis industry, you know, she's worked in it, telling me that this is like legit, this is good. So I started like, you know, giving it to my mom, helping her with like her symptoms. She doesn't smoke anything, but she smoked some tea and she really liked it. She was drinking it too. So I just started circulating it within my immediate circle, my friends and family. I never thought that I was going to have a business. Like it was never, this was not in my future. Like I never saw this happening at all.
Wow.
So then my friends and family, they're like, why don't you just start a business? Like, you know, you're doing these herbs, like we're coming to you, make a profit out of it. And this was during the pandemic. So I'm like, okay, I don't have nothing else to do. So let me just, you know, start some jars. I didn't have pre-rolls yet. I was just doing the jars and I was rolling it for people, or they rolled it themselves. I was going to Staples and just getting little labels and things. Shout out to my cousin June. He helped me with my logo and my name, how the Flower Plugg name came about. I want it to be the herbal plug, because if you can tell with my business, it's almost like a mock dispensary. I wanted people to have that like feel of like they're coming to a dispensary, but it's just tea.
Yes.
So I wanted to be the herbal plug, and that was taken. So I was super like mad about that. And he's like, why don't you just do the Flower Plugg? Hated that name. I did not like it. Like
I love that name.
I right? I love it now, but I was like, no, I'm like the Flower Plugg. Like, what is that? So I'm like, okay, like I have to be different. So I needed to add like an extra G. You know, I couldn't just be the Flower Plugg. I had to be the plug.
Yeah. The plug.
Yeah, I wanted to be the plug. So that's how, you know, my name came about. He made my logo, went to Staples, was just doing a little bit here and there. Made a post on Twitter, got like 40 orders. That was really good for a small business, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'll never forget 2021, December 25th or like 26th is Christmas time. My friends were telling me, get on TikTok. And I didn't even have the app. I'm like, I don't know nothing about TikTok. Made a TikTok video, downloaded the app. And I think I was talking about like smoking roses and lavender. And I'm like, okay. So then I put it down. I was at my aunt's house. We were having like a family dinner. And I just start seeing like Shopify. I get a Shopify notification. You got to order. I'm like, okay, thank you, God, for the order. Then I get another one. I'm like, okay, God, thank you for this other order. Then I just start getting a whole bunch of orders. Yeah, there's like, and I'm like, what is going on? So then I opened the app and I was going viral. You see that 99 plus notification. I'm like, okay, like this is like happening.
That's why I love TikTok.
Yeah, like honestly, TikTok really blew my business up.
Yeah.
Like that is the platform.
Yes,
that
it is.
once that happened, like we've just been up since there. Like I've been just on the trends and things like that. So that's how the Flower Plugg came about. I thought I was going to be doing tea stuff. I had a tea tasting event before that where people came to my house and it was so cute. Like people were tasting tea, smoking pre-rolls, had like refreshments. And I thought that was going to be the vibe. But God had another plan, obviously, for me to have an online business and now like a retail store. But yeah, like I never thought that I was going to have like an online store. The Flower Plugg was going to be this big. And that's how it came about. Like, that's how it came about. Really, it was TikTok. I did the whole work. It really was started off to help my own self, my own mental health and wellness. And then to help my friends and family. And now I'm helping my community. Like, that's just been the biggest thing. So
I love
I'm
that.
so proud of
I
you.
love that.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
then that kind of goes into like, what does it mean to be a young Black woman entrepreneur in this space?
So, a young Black entrepreneur for me in this space is definitely like taking that risk to just, I guess, go against social norms
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
just be your own boss, having that freedom to be your own boss, make your own hours. Also helping my community, putting them on to herbalism, herbal
Yes,
health,
yes.
because
Yeah.
like our ancestors, this is what we were doing. I feel like we've
Mhm.
like strayed away from all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like now in this herbalism, smokable herbs, you don't see a lot of Black women owners in that field.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people feel comfortable with me, because I get a lot of other Black people that maybe if they went to somebody else, they wouldn't have felt as comfortable buying from them.
Absolutely.
They,
Because what is this?
yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
What are you selling me? Or
Yes.
even like speaking to them, I feel like a lot of people when they break down herbs, they try to just make it so like complicated, and they're
Mhm.
talking about the origin name and the Greek name and the Latin and this and
Right.
and it's like, not everybody wants to know that, and not everybody's educated in that, and that's okay. Like we all have
Yeah.
our own like skills and things. And that's why I try to do my herbal 101s. I try to break it down just very basic. Just, mullein is a lung tonic, is good for your respiratory. You're gonna cough up mullein, you're gonna cough up mucus, and that's it. You don't have to be so like complicated with it. I feel like in the herbal world too, people get really caught up with like the whole like, I have my degree in this and my this and that and my certificate in this and my this and that, and that's all fine. But I feel like when you're speaking to like the community, kind of gotta,
It needs to be digestible.
yeah, it needs to be
And your
digestible.
website and
If I'm
is
just
like
talking to
that,
you,
yeah.
then okay, yeah, like we can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also feel like we didn't have this opportunity before as Black women to be able to have our own businesses, to be able to be our own bosses, our own entrepreneurs, to be able to be in the light to help other people. Like I just feel like doing that now, I kind of feel like I'm like making history. No. Yeah.
Legit. Literally.
Yeah, that's
yes.
what it means to
Stand
me.
in that. You
Like,
are.
thank you. Really
Yeah.
trying to help my community, put them on to herbal healing. That's really been my thing.
Yes.
So
I'm curious, did you have like any mentors or anyone that you kind of look to that's a Black entrepreneur that's been like helpful, or that, maybe you've seen in media that's been helpful just to like see?
my mom is the one really that has been my inspiration. She's not an entrepreneur. I honestly haven't had a lot of like entrepreneur people in my life, but she is an office manager at a medical company for almost 50 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 70. And yeah, I'm a rainbow baby.
Come on, Mom.
Okay. But she's a hustler. I've seen her since I was young, like working late hours, hustling, like to provide us with the lifestyle that she wanted us to be, just very comfortable. Like my mom was the one that was the breadwinner. My mom was the one that was bringing in the bacon. She was the one that was, taking us to trips, doing all of this stuff. And just seeing her grind, I think that like, it instills something in me at a young age, to always be like a boss woman. And so she's the one that helped me when I was doing my business. I was just like selling little things here. She's like, if you're gonna have a business, we're gonna do it right.
Yes.
So you're gonna have your business license. We're gonna get your LLC. We're gonna get your domain names and all that. You're gonna have an email address. Like you're gonna be professional. You're not gonna be out here, DM me to place an order. You're gonna have,
Thank you.
You're gonna have an online website.
Yes.
I was like, we're not doing any of that. And then also customer service, because I worked with my mom as a receptionist, and she always pushed with, I was telling Danica about this, pushed, having that customer service, making the patients feel welcome, catering to their needs. As Black entrepreneurs, especially women, we have that stereotype of having horrible customer service.
Especially Black women.
Especially Black,
women.
Unfortunately. And I feel like I'm really trying to break that stereotype when people are coming like, where's my order? It's been like a week, da 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 da. And most of the time it's a post office issue, things like that. But instead of like giving them an attitude and being like, I shipped your order, like, what do you mean? Like, let's work. Let me help you out. Like, I know you spent your money. So, you want to make sure that I'm not scamming you or anything. Like, so I understand that. So she's really helped me with that. I always go to her when I'm like, this customer said this. Like, she's like, okay, like take a breath, but this is how you can respond. Like, she gives me the correct way to respond to people. Yeah, and I feel like everybody's just always waiting for you to like mess up as a black woman entrepreneur.
How do you feel like that's helped you and your mom's connection?
Yeah, that sounds powerful.
It's really me and my mom. We have a very great relationship. We're that's my best friend. Like, yeah, she's helped me like with my mental health when I was younger. So I feel like that really made us stronger. But with this, I don't know. You would think it would make us stronger, but I feel like in a way she's like seeing me grow. And I feel like that kind of was hard for her. Me being like my more independent, because like I would take the stuff that she would tell me and now I'm like, okay, now I know. So like I don't go to her as much for like customer help now. I don't go to her as much like for all of that, because I feel like she's already instilled that. Yeah. So I feel like at first it was kind of hard for her because I had become completely financially independent from her. I became like just independent in myself, and she's like one of those mama bears. So she's like, you don't need me. Like what? I'm like, I mean, I always need her. That's my mom. Like,
it's just different levels. It looks different.
So you got to tell your mom, you've instilled in me all that I need. You raised me well.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not coming to you as much, because you taught me the things I need to know. Yeah, and I'm using them.
I think I really do need to tell her that. Like, I really do appreciate her. Like, I wouldn't be here without her. So
no, hearing that is amazing. And I'm just thinking about too, just how I'm wondering how you are taking care of your mental wellness and your mental health in general, like while balancing a whole business, you know, like, and hold on, I just want to point out, y'all, she said retail store. Yeah. It's an online business in a retail store. That's just wild.
Up, y'all.
Where's it at?
It's in Long Beach on Redondo in Anaheim, 1355 Redondo Avenue, Long Beach, California, Suite 8. Check us out. Yes. Yeah, we just opened up May. I had my grand opening in August. So nice. Yeah, it's been hard, girl. That first year of my business, I was not taking care of my mental health. Like, I'll say that right now. I was Monday through Sunday, like orders, inventory, emails, content. I mean, content. People don't realize how hard like content is. Marketing. That is like,
it's hard.
Oh my God, it's so freaking hard. And I had got burnt out. Like, I did have a breakdown. I literally was in the corner of my house and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, this is just too overwhelming. Like, I feel like I'm a one person like show right now. And that's when, of course, you know, Mama Bear comes in, saves the day. And she really told me that it was important for me to take care of my mental health. And doing that, I have like designated days now that I work. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's when our shop is open. And I know those are the days that like we're really getting to the nitty gritty. Sometimes I go into my shop Tuesday, Thursday, maybe on the weekend, but I try to allow myself like at least a day, two if I can, to just check out, just do what I need to do.
And to enjoy your flowers.
And I was going to say, literally. And taking my own advice, like getting into my own tea, my Breathe Easy tea. That's my favorite tea. It's great for anxiety. It has peppermint skullcap in there. So really doing that, smoking that instead of smoking weed all the time, putting that with my weed. Like, taking my own advice when I'm telling other people to do all of this. Like, come on now. Like, I have all of it in my forefront. Like, so really that's just what it's been, trying to take those days for myself, going to spas, dancing, we were talking about. That is really like my therapy. Like when I go to my dance classes, when I'm going to my, like I don't feel like a lot of people know, but when I'm really going in there to just distress. Like I'm dealing with a lot of things in my mind. And when I go in there, like I can step away for a minute. I can be like my genuine self. Like I am not like a boss right now. People are not looking at me for the answers. Like I can just go in there and just be taught to. I can go in there and just dance all my worries away. I can go in there and make connections with people. So that's really been something that's helped with my mental health. And that's why I've been accountable to that, because if I don't start getting into my room, being in my bed, being in my head, or I'm in my computer, I'm on Instagram, looking at what other people are doing. This person, they saying they make this much in a day. Why am I not making that much? And people be capping on that social media. No, literally.
They do.
No,
They do. Like,
Like,
now that I'm like having like, you know, the following, and I'm talking to influencers, and I'm talking to like people
Mhm.
that are known, and I'm seeing like what they're doing, like it's not what it is. And I know that we know that, but like really seeing it,
That's when
I'm
it becomes
like,
really real.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, stop comparing. Like, I think that's one thing I would tell. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I would tell other entrepreneurs, do not look at what other people are doing. Do not. I know that everybody says, look at what other people doing, you know, go off of that. No, because you're just going to get discouraged.
Stress yourself out.
You're going to stress yourself out. Like your quote said, do what's best for you. Like, you make your own narrative. What works for somebody else may not work for you.
Yeah.
And you don't know what other people are doing. You don't know if they got a financially abundant background. You know, you don't know if they married to, because I found that out, married to somebody else that got the financials.
Absolutely.
You don't know if they, you know, this is a business that's been passed on.
Yep.
You know, you just don't know what people are doing. You don't know if they just cap in like, this is a video from 3 years ago, and they trying to make it seem like, you know, this is a current video. It's just little things like that. So yeah, that's another thing. Stop watching other people.
Stop watching other people. Yeah, I feel like that's going into that next question, which you kind of was dropping little gems of just like, what are some tips you would give like entrepreneurs or folks who are looking to be entrepreneurs, how to take care of themselves? And so one thing I'm hearing was you said you set out like intentional days off, right? You have like different types of therapy. You talked about dance, that being like an outside piece.
Yes.
And then this whole like not paying attention to everybody else. Like not do not like base what you need to be doing off everybody else. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that would be about it. Stay knowledgeable, always research whatever you're gonna do. Like, you can never learn too much. Like, I'm still taking herbal courses now. I'm still like, you know, enrolling into things and conferences. Always make sure that you're expanding your knowledge. That would be.
How do you feel about also pausing in that too? Because I feel like I'm in a lot of conversation where people are feeling like I have to keep learning, but then they're getting frustrated with themselves because they're feeling like I got to learn this thing too, but then I'm also learning this thing. And it's like, can you give yourself a moment to practice what you learned? Because you learn a whole lot of stuff and you're feeling like you got to learn all these different things. Give yourself a moment to pause.
Right.
And just take in what you're learning and apply it.
Exactly. And apply it, perfect it. Like, it's okay to just, like you say, you learned this, now perfect your craft. That's the whole important thing, is perfecting it. I like, with my blends, I'm not always just, pushing out a new blend. People are always asking me, like, when are you going to drop a new one? Like, I'm perfecting these blends.
Yes.
Like, I literally, my Golden Bliss blend, I had it and I took it off because I was like, nah, like, I need to perfect this more. Like, you know, I learned on this course, you know, use this, don't blend this. So let me really just,
I love that.
Yeah, let me just perfect this blend. So no, what you're saying, I really do second that. It's okay to learn something and then just focus on that. You don't have to keep learning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just curious really quick. What was your first blend really quick? I'm just curious.
I had two. My OG blends are All That, that's my rose blend, and Divine Tea, that's my lavender blend. So one was good, All That is great for your menstrual cramps, depressive symptoms. It brings euphoria. It's a good daytime blend. And Divine Tea, our lavender blend, is great for sleep, pain, meditation. That's what you would probably use at night. And we didn't have any pre-rolls at first. We started with the jars. And then people were like, oh, you should do the pre-rolls. So that's how we got into that.
I need to try that because, interestingly enough, I literally just bought an oil blend and it's lavender and rose. And it's crazy because I used to not like the smell of rose. I was like, But the name called me. So the name is I Am Enough.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, let me try it out. And that's been like my go-to as of lately. And I've been feeling like just even me smelling that, because I'm really big into put oils in my pulses. So if I do have a moment where I feel anxious or stressed, I take a moment and sniff it. So now I'm like, I need to try this tea.
Yeah, that lavender in there really is good for that. I can see that. But yeah, oh my God, I meant to bring some, but like I could always hit you guys up and bring. Well,
I was just about to.
We gotta stop at the shop.
I was about to say first of all that I've tried the teas.
Oh, yeah,
like I'm not. Yes, I've tried both the Golden Bliss, which that's like help with the energy.
Yes, it's
Golden Bliss. and I've tried it in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so it really has helped me. And then I've tried the sleep one. The one I have is the
Is that rest or
Rest.
Rest. Okay, yeah.
I have that one,
That's the
and
deep
it
sleep.
really did. I was having some, and it says this too, like that you might have some lucid dreaming or vivid dreams. I had really vivid dreams. I remember being like, whoa, but I slept good, and so like I've tried it, and I don't smoke, but that's why I love the fact you have the options so that you can smoke or you can drink the tea. I'm a tea drinker, and so
can you smoke and drink the tea at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, girl. I've done it before. I'm like, you can. You can and you can soak in it. So you can do our jars, and you can put it in for like a herbal bath. Some people do it as like a spiritual bath too. I tell people to put it in a tea bag and then put it in your bathtub so you don't have to mess.
Okay.
It's a little hack.
Yes, I'm so here for it. I feel like this episode could go on forever.
I know I can talk, girl. So I'm like, just cut me
we
off.
can talk.
and this is good. This is so good. Like I feel great talking to you right now.
Me too.
So hopefully we can have a part 2.
Yeah, I'll be
but
on time,
to wrap it up, you have any takeaways that you just want to leave with our audience now? The floor is yours. Whatever you want to say, you get to say.
I guess for the audience, I would say, if you do not want to smoke weed, just know that there's other alternatives for you. Definitely look into smokable herbs. If you want to start your own business, okay, make sure it's what you want, okay? Don't listen to it, Twitter, what do they call them? LLC Twitter. It's really hard to run a business. If you want to do it, don't let anybody stop you. If people think that it's silly what you're doing, bump them, because then when you make it, they're going to be like, hey, remember me? So like the quote said, do what works for you. You create your own narrative. If you want to be a business owner and sell air, do it, because if that's your passion, you're gonna make it work.
Sell air?
Yeah, girl. There's actually like this. I think it's air. I saw it on TikTok.
Look,
they're selling air and they market it so well that people were buying it.
seriously.
If you want to sell something and you're passionate about it, do it. Don't let anybody change it. Change your mind. My dad, he's Nigerian. Smoking, what you mean smoking herbs? Like, honestly, that's when he found out I was smoking weed. He's like, but hey, now he loves it.
He came around.
Now he came around. So do what works for you. And that's what I would want to leave with. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And thank y'all for tuning into this week's episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Be sure to give us a rating.
Yeah. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.